science fiction on a screen so bright. Old classics and the new delights. The unapologetic geek will lead the way, with facts and fun to fill your day. Discussing every detail, every frame, from the eerie to the loud and the tame. Gig along with all that's great, those Sunday vibes you can't debate. Tug along with the Sunday crew, geeking out is what we do. Giggle on, it's gonna be great. Don't be late, let's celebrate.
Salutations!
You killed Carl, you bastard! Oh, I'm sorry. Greetings from South Carolina.
You've been reading that book for like 2 months now.
I'm slow. I read like a page. I've been reading it for 283 days. You know how I know? I'm on page 283.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Okay, well, let's say hi to the people in the chat. We've got Vim Vanderstraten here as always.
Vimmy.
Just Carowin, good day. Channel member Texas Knight, good morning.
The part where I turned the chat on.
Yep.
All my exes live there.
And of course, Indy Spoats here to fact check us in real time.
AM, good to see you, my brother.
Oh, and Mike Silva just showed up.
Mikey Silva, good to see you.
Man, I've got to get out there and see weapons. Everybody's talking about it.
It's
Okay.
become the new Game of Thrones.
Yeah, apparently. So today we're going to continue our discussion of post-apocalyptic survival movies, because that is one of our favorite subjects here on the Unapologetic Geek. If you missed last week, that's okay. I've already forgotten what we talked about, so we might repeat ourselves. Who cares? I know Indy cares, but I don't care. And again, I'm going to be pretty loose with the definitions. In fact, the first movie I'm going to talk about probably doesn't qualify, but Danny sent me a link last week.
It qualifies if you're a roach.
If you're a roach, it definitely qualifies. It's a movie called Twilight of the Cockroaches, which I've never seen before, never even heard of before until Danny sent me the link. It's this weird Japanese live action / anime from the 80s about a group of cockroaches living in an apartment, basically Joe's apartment if it was made in 1980s Japan, where there's this single guy who just doesn't care, and like his whole apartment is infested, and like the cockroaches live in peace with him, until one day he sees across the field a girl in another apartment, and she comes over, and then she starts slaughtering the cockroaches, because obviously she does. This is a very simplified version of it. We follow the story through the eyes of the cockroaches, and you come to learn that there was kind of an apocalypse before, where this guy was actually married before with a wife and a kid, and he kept the apartment very clean and was at war with the cockroaches and was slaughtering them by the thousands and millions. And like his wife left him and took his daughter with her, and like then that's why he got depressed and stopped caring and stopped killing the cockroaches. But of course now he's got a new girl, and so now he's got to clean the apartment again. So it's all out war. Anyway,
Armageddon.
It's a weird movie, and it's all like this analogy or this allegory for like Japanese complacency in the post World War II era and stuff like that. Like you can read really deep into it if you want. You can read real deep if you read the names of some of the characters, like Hans and Adolf. Let's say. Oh yeah, yes. There's definitely a lot of that in there. Hans, though, is probably my favorite character. He's this cockroach. He's got like this perfectly sculpted like Adonis face, and they're like the female main character like falls in love with him, but he's beyond stoic. He's a statue. And there's one scene where she goes across the field and joins his army, basically. And there's this one scene where he's about to go out into the front lines to go find food, and she's behind him, and one of his subordinates, because he's like a general, one of his subordinates comes up to him and says, "Hey, that woman, I'm worried that she's a distraction." And Hans just slaps him and then turns around, kisses his girl, and then goes out into the front lines. It's really funny. I don't know.
John Wayne.
He says like 5 words, maybe. It's great. I don't necessarily recommend this movie because it is very slow. I watched most of it at 2x speed. But I did find it pretty fascinating. And yeah, the human characters are all in live action and the cockroaches are all anime. And it's really weird when you see anime cockroaches with big boobs. It's bizarre. You don't know how to feel about that. I don't know. Like, I count it because it is about survival for sure. Because these cockroaches have been living in complacency. They've gotten fat off the land of Joe's apartment. I'm going to call him Joe, even though his name is Seiko, I think. But then as soon as they have to fend for themselves and they have to fight, they get taken over by the rival cockroach gang that's like, militant Germans. I don't know. Like, I think that there's a lot to it. And let's just say it ends badly, like most of these 80s animated movies about animals and pests, like Watership Down. Let's see, Secret of Nim. There's so many.
Well, Japanese entertainment as a whole, you don't get a lot of happy endings.
That's true. Yeah.
You just don't.
But you got to admit though, when that little Bud Abbott looking cockroach, the little fat fella, he flew and hit the guy in the eye with that last ditch.
That little hurrah.
Slavery, and then he falls to the ground and gets stepped on. You felt that, man.
Oh, it's true.
You felt it in here, man, for that little fella.
Yeah, when you get to the end and pretty much everybody dies, yeah, you feel it for sure.
Yeah, it's like I swear I drew Holocaust imagery from this movie. It was that bad to me, man. For some reason, it just really slapped me in the face. I actually felt for little cockroaches getting wasted. I sprayed millions of them.
Yeah.
78.
Oh, wow, man. And it's like every sound in the world. I got loud sirens going off. I got dogs squealing.
Apparently,
I might have to give this movie another chance because I must confess, I couldn't get in. I tried to watch it. I couldn't get into it. But now that I kind of know how it develops, I might give it another chance. And I apologize for not being able to.
Well, once again, when it gets to the really slow parts, and you can see them coming, especially when music's playing on those long scenic, you just go ahead and fast forward to the 4 or 5 minutes of that crap, and you get the quick, or watch the 123-minute quick version.
I will say that the music during those slow places actually does sound better at 2x speed.
One thing you reminded me of, Tug, though, is it reminded me of a personal event where years ago, my best friend was married. And long story short, all I could think of was everything would be so much better if he just left her, if she was gone, if it, this place would be like amazing if she would just leave. And long story short, she ended up leaving him. And if I thought the first wife was bad, the follow-up, it was like World War I and World War II. Yeah, World War I sucked, but you ain't seen nothing yet. We ended up having to secede our friendship, I'm afraid. I'd like to say not because of the wife, but because of the wife.
One of my wives hated the roaches, and she went to war with the roaches. And now that I think back after seeing this movie, I really wish the roaches had won.
Hey, Lance.
I could have lived with them a lot better.
Lance, is it going? Oh, and Mike, you are absolutely correct. The Old Man in the Cave is an amazing post-apocalyptic Twilight Zone. It's actually one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, yeah, that's a great episode for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's based on a short story, which I have not been able to find for some reason. I will one day find it and read it. It's on my reading list.
Well, them searches can go on for a long time. Believe it or not, I'm still looking for a black and white TV show from an anthology series based on War of the Worlds. I cannot find this episode, and I'm still
I hadn't heard.
But I will not stop until I find it.
How many people were looking on your behalf as well? I think there were at least a half a dozen people.
Thousands maybe have checked. Hundreds are looking, but nobody can find it.
Did you set
You know what
Dave
I did-
Sundstrom on it? Because of anybody in our group, I think Dave would be the one to find it.
On an unrelated matter, though, I'm sure you guys know the War of the Worlds, the American scandal. A similar thing actually happened in Ecuador in the 50s, only it was far, far, far worse. And a crowd ended up burning the radio station to the ground. And I think a couple people were killed. Here's the funny part. I was still working in the restaurant at the time, and a bunch of our kitchen staff was from Ecuador. And not only is that still considered like a huge like anecdote in Ecuador, one of the guys I talked to, his grandfather was in the crowd.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I'm like, what? He goes, oh yeah, my grandfather told me that story. He was like there, and I went, oh, so crazy.
Wild. That's just weird.
Would War of the Worlds be considered post-apocalyptic survival?
In this scenario, I would think probably.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's mostly like as the apocalypse is happening.
What's happening?
But I mean, there are elements to it, especially if you get to the scene in the cabin with the old man who's crazy, like either the book or the Tim Robbins in the most recent, well, not the most recent, but the Steven Spielberg version. You get to that scene, and that seems very post-apocalyptic survival for sure.
Yeah, I watched the Tom Cruise
certainly
version,
does.
and I felt post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, I'm not saying the Tom Cruise version is any good. The Tim Robbins scene is good.
That movie's so bad it makes you cheer for the Martians.
I don't know why it's so difficult to get that movie right. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah,
I mean, George Pell did, so we got that.
Here's the
he
problem
did,
with
but
trying
he's
to
the
get it
only
right.
one.
There's a problem with trying to get it right, dude. The problem is
It's
that
like,
humans don't matter when you think about it. The Martians come, they destroy a bunch of stuff, they get sick from a virus, and they die. And humans really are just there. That's what I don't like about it. At least in the modern Independence Day version, humans done something. We put the virus up their butt. We got rid of them that way in the modern movie. In the old movie, we're just there.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the story is that we're
You know what a
used to stuff.
dunzel is?
It's all about.
Have
A
you ever heard the
dunzel?
term? Have you ever heard the term dunzel? Do you know what a dunzel is?
a dunzel in distress.
A dunzel. It's a part of a machine. It's just there. It really serves no purpose. It's just on the machine. It's a useless part. It's a dunzel. And that's what we were in the movie. We were dunzels. The humans didn't matter. No matter what happened, the Martians were going to come, destroy stuff, and die. And no matter on Earth what a human done.
Even though I get accused in my comment section of being a brain-rotted progressive political junkie whenever I mention it, H.G. Wells wrote War of the Worlds specifically because of British colonialism. And the whole point was that there was no way to defeat it. It had to defeat itself from its own hubris.
And if you know how many British soldiers died from malaria and other tropical diseases, the idea of the Martians dying from something they have no immunity to, it was not far-fetched at all.
Yeah. Although in my literature classes, they used to use that as an example of a Deus Ex Machina used properly, because it can actually work if used properly.
I just often think to myself, think to myself, what the world would be like if all the humans in the North America and South America, the Native Americans and the Teotihuacans and the ancient people had some kind of virus that was deadly to the Europeans, and it went in reverse, and the Europeans come over here and caught the virus, and it killed off Europe instead of them. What world would we live in now?
Yeah, true.
If the roles were reversed, just think about it.
Brian Aldiss wrote a book like that, actually, similar. It's along those lines where it's a reverse colonialism, I guess, would be the only word I can think of. There's no actual term for it. Which would still be colonialism.
On a related matter, I had a dream the other night, and I solved the problem of time travel. If anybody's interested, I'll fill you in backstage.
Well, there was this one book by Arthur C. Clarke and I can't remember his name, the guy who wrote Ring. That's about like a world, like the aliens have come and they have just like mixed up all the time periods on Earth. So like one time zone will be from like the 1700s, and one time zone will be
Oh.
Genghis Khan and all that. And they have to intermingle. And like the way the viruses interact with the different time periods is actually very interesting, because the people of the past don't have immunity to future viruses, whereas people from the future or the present have no idea how to tackle ancient viruses, which it's actually kind of fun. It's a really neat book because you've got like Alexander the Great fighting Genghis Khan and stuff like that. It's really cool.
That'd be a cool match. I know who I'd bet on, but that'd be a great fight.
Yeah.
Oh, and while we're on the subject, one of the things they're speculating for people who aren't familiar with the term pandemic.
Who's not familiar with that term?
There's
I was being wry. I have rye
maybe
syndrome.
have a guy named Bill and
I'm the catcher in the rye. And stop stepping on my lines, Denny. Anyway, with the melting ice caps, they were afraid that some virus from like hundreds of thousands of years ago that we humans haven't seen is going to reemerge, with hilarity ensuing.
Like
Now,
that
Denny,
laugh
you
out
were
loud
saying-
right at the thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Only without the cool, shape shifting. Now, Denny, you were saying?
I have no clue what I was saying. Dude.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No, I'm
derail
just-
your train of thought.
I'm just kidding. I was just asking Tug if that movie had Bill and Ted in it.
No, but yeah, you did have Genghis Khan for sure. Played by, oh man, I can't remember his name now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Danny, it is now your turn. And hi, Tracy.
You know, I really should bring up the plague
And hi,
dog,
Ron.
but I don't think that applies here. Even though if these dogs happen to get in contact with humanity, it could destroy Earth.
It's like
And
a
that's why the
pre-apocalypse.
And
Yeah.
that's why the plague dogs is really post-apocalyptic in a way. But I'm going to digress on the plague dog because we done talked about an animated film earlier. And I'll move on to this post-apocalyptic nightmare that I really hate. I don't know. I watched the movie and I didn't hate it. But the second time I watched it back, I hated it. And every time I've seen it since, 3 or 4 times, there's just little things I really hate about it. And that's the Book of Eli. It's not the future that I want to imagine. What do you think about it, Chuck?
Kind of like you. I actually really liked it the first time I saw it. But then when I saw it again, I realized that it's a lot of sound and fury over nothing. And like, it's a cool twist at the end, but once you know the twist is coming, the whole movie becomes pretty pointless. I love Gary Oldman. I love Denzel Washington. I think some of the action scenes are interesting and fun because Denzel Washington is a blind guy in the post-apocalypse. And, that's kind of neat. But yeah, the movie, it loses a lot of its luster after you've seen it. So
You know what I finally come to realize? It's kind of Blind Fury with a book instead of a kid.
yeah, pretty much.
It's like somebody just took Blind Fury, made it into future, threw a book instead of a kid, and went with it. That's what I got in the long run. And if it had Rutger Hauer in it, it probably would have been 10 times better.
I mean, I like the fact it was kind of a love letter to other post-apocalyptic fiction. I mean, the idea in the future they would destroy books. Well, thank you for Canticle for Leibowitz, and that type of thing. It merges many other. If you're a fan of the genre, it merges a lot of them together. But again, there's a fine line between an homage and a ripoff. And when I watched it, the one thing I can think of is, other than the surprise twist, which I think everyone, even if you haven't seen the movie, you've probably figured out. But there was no real, no, what have we learned, Dorothy? And I felt there were many opportunities for that. It's almost like, I don't know if it suffered from rewrites or what, but it just seemed like something fell through the cracks.
You know,
And
my
that's just
grandpa,
what I took from it.
my grandpa was an old World War II veteran, and he always used to say something funny about them burning books. He said them idiots in Germany that was burning books, his problem was they only read one.
Ba-dum-bum.
And yeah, it's kind of like one of those SNL movies where they take one sketch and drag it out for an entire movie. It feels like Book of Eli is a really neat vignette. It's like a really neat story that they have
Yeah, I
stretched
see that.
out to a
I wish
full
you hadn't
length.
brought that up. I had a flashback to like the most terrible movie experience of my entire freaking life. That just
Night at the Roxbury.
it's a movie from Saturday Night Live, man. It
Which
really
one?
is. It's
There's a
like
lot of bad
the
SNL movies.
worst. I mean, it's hard for me to think of a movie that's worse now that I think about it. And I've had some doozies. You know how I feel about some movies being bad. But there's this movie called MacGruber,
Oh God.
and it, to me,
We're on the same page with this one.
oh, I'm speechless at how much I really could. God, it's a family show. I can't say that. Oh, he wants to suck a. Oh God, I can't say that. I just can't tell you about this movie on this show.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm gonna make a movie. I'm gonna make a video later just bashing MacGruber and showing scenes from it and telling everybody why I hate it. Stay tuned. Ugh.
But I am glad you brought up the Book of Eli because it was on my list. It was one I wanted to talk about. And pretty much, yeah, what Thrash said. It feels like a bunch of other post-apocalyptic stories meshed together. Yeah.
But once
Anyway.
again, I did not like Denzel Washington's performance that much. I think if you got a blind guy, Rutger Hauer pulled it off much better. But the bad guys in this movie won the show for me. The bad
Well,
girl,
yeah, Gary Oldman. Yeah.
yeah, the bad guy and his girlfriend, and he's got his goons out looking for books. They made the movie pretty good because of their antics, even though it was somewhat the comedy relief at the, here and there.
Yeah, I kind of see your point. I think Denzel Washington might have not been the best choice. I mean, he was really good in the end. Like you would actually believe that Denzel Washington would memorize the Bible. But
And once again, there's many.
Sorry, spoiler alert.
There's many movies of his I will lay down and do this in praise of.
Yeah.
There's Blade, man. I love Blade. There's so
Denzel
many.
Washington is in Blade.
Huh?
No, wait a second. No, that was
Blade?
Wesley Snipes.
That's Wesley Snipes.
Oh well, maybe I don't like him as much as I thought I did.
And I'm agreeing with him. Going, hey, wait a second.
Wait a minute. Now what? Wait a minute. Now I'm confused. You're right. Yeah.
In fact, did he ever do a vampire movie at all? I don't think.
Not that I can think of.
I'm trying to think of a good movie I liked him in.
Well, Glory.
Denzel?
Currently, I have him and Wesley Snipes mixed up. It might have been Wesley Snipes in all the movies I thought I liked him in. So.
His recent Equalizer movies, I actually think are pretty good.
Oh God, no. Okay, you're right.
I mean, they're not as good as the original.
Okay,
I'm just
Wesley
saying they're
Snipes is
good.
brilliant.
Funny, it's set in Boston, which is funny because he got his start on Sin Elsewhere, which is a medical show set in Boston.
Yeah.
Just as
Man,
a
I'm just
fun fact.
so confused.
I'm not really.
That's what happens when things are going on around me and I can't concentrate.
What about that submarine movie with Gene Hackman? Crimson Tide.
Oh, Tide. Yes,
I like
they
that.
call
movie.
Alabama the Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
The one with
You
Sean
can call
Connery
me.
was better, but
But then again, I have a soft spot for submarine movies. I pretty much like them all, even the terrible ones. So
I was going to say, even U-571 is not without its charm. It's about as historically accurate as Hogan's Heroes, but it's a good movie.
That's one of my mother's favorite movies, so I've seen it a lot. It's like, yes, when I think of German U-boats, I think of Matthew McConaughey.
There's a song in there somewhere.
Anyway, Crash, it's your turn.
I think of a German U-boat movie where they get captured by the Americans, and the Germans recapture the Americans, and then they go under the ice and come up in a land full of dinosaurs.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And Doug McClure may be there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yes.
can't remember the name of it.
No,
but I know exactly what you're talking
that's
about.
The Land That Time Forgot.
That sounds right. Yep.
And that's a great movie. The
Our
first
resident
officer
German
in
doesn't
that.
like Das Boot.
Where did that come from?
The first officer in that was one of the masters from the Doctor Who series. I can't think of his name to save my life, but I remember his head going. Ah! You know?
So I come up with a submarine movie with the U-boat and a big giant rubber monster bird. Come on.
Yeah, man.
Several.
It's not to love.
Oh, geez.
Sequel was tragic, but I love that one. Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, was it Denzel Washington? or Wesley Snipes that was laying in the bed with Angelina Jolie in that movie, and he's telling her how to track down the killer. That's Denzel, right? The Bone Collector.
I'm not sure what. Oh, I think that is Denzel. I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say I did like one of these movies. It took me a while.
Yeah, Bone Collector. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good, Tracy. Roger Delgado. Very good. Of course, she's another Whovian, so very good.
Whereas I am, to my shame, not a Whovian because I've actually never seen a full episode of Doctor Who.
The mind boggles, but it's a free country.
Everybody's always amazed by my blind spots. I'm sorry.
Well, not even that you're not a fanboy. The fact you've never actually seen a full episode. That's the part, you know.
It's like I
mean,
had
watched Babylon
nothing
5.
against it. I just never got around to it. Okay, Babylon 5 you have to see.
I've actually sat through an episode of that.
Yeah, as I've mentioned before on the show, my problem with Doctor Who is I want to watch it all. I don't want to just watch like the newest episodes or the newest iteration of the Doctor. I want to get the whole history, and it's just overwhelming, especially since you can't actually go back to the beginning.
Roger sounded right to me.
Okay. Apparently, coming up real soon, dude, you're gonna love this. You can go back to the beginning. They're using AI to recreate all the original first season Doctor Who episodes, and they're going to be released in England, I think, in 2026. And it wouldn't be long before they're on YouTube, and we'll actually be able to see all that first and second season stuff they lost.
They'll never be on YouTube. BBC is a fascist when it comes to YouTube. They actually have people who watch YouTube waiting for their stuff to pop up so they can rip it down. I'm sure you'll be able to stream them, but I guarantee you, if you get a trailer for them on YouTube, I'll be surprised. There was some episode of The Goodies from like 1968, and I saw it. I went to watch it again later on that day, and they'd already taken it down. I'm like, wowzers. You know? It's like,
well, the only time I ever won a copyright dispute actually was against BBC. They tried to claim my Day of the Triffids review, but I actually won that dispute. It's
going to be showed. It's going to be showed on the BBC official YouTube channel, which is now showing stuff.
Oh, yeah, they can't copyright strike
their own channel. So that's how they're beating everything. They want you to watch it with them, but they're going to show it.
I'll give it a shot. See what happens.
I generated stuff, so it ain't really costing them that much. So they can do it in their country, then show it on their YouTube channel later. And
on their YouTube channel. Okay.
Double profit around the world, you know.
I stand corrected.
I hereby allow my chat to nag me about it when it happens, so that I will actually watch it.
Excellent.
I'm going to watch it just out of curiosity.
Just to see if the AI is any
I actually watched the 10 or 15 seasons they showed on BBC over the last 10 years. I watched all them episodes, as much as I hated some of them.
Okay. I know my dad was a fan, so.
I was a fan of the original Tom Baker Doctor Who stuff they showed on PBS when I was a kid. But
me too.
It got stupid later on, man. They turned Doctor Who into a girl and all kind of stuff.
I've seen clips from the very recent stuff, and it looks pretty bad. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, as a matter of fact, there was actually a spin-off show from Doctor Who.
Oh, thank you, Mike Harper. I'm not alone.
I can't remember the name of the spin-off show from Doctor Who.
Sarah Connor Chronicles.
No, it was not. It was something else.
No, there was a Sarah. There was a Sarah, and she had her own spin-off. Yeah. But it was supposed that what it was is it was like the X-Files. Where
the guy who lived forever.
Torchwood. Thank you, Torchwood.
Indian Veneron.
You're right, Torchwood.
There was a Sarah though.
That was a great freaking series. It should have went on and on and on. The guy would get killed and he'd come back every time you blow him up and he'd come back, you know.
I didn't even know it was related to Doctor Who. I've heard a lot of good things about Torchwood.
Oh, it's a spinoff from Doctor Who. His whole show's about this guy's search for the Doctor Who to find out why he's the way he is that Doctor Who caused in the past 500 years before. He's been hunting down Doctor Who forever.
Tracy, some of my favorite stuff that I've seen from BBC I saw on PBS, especially like the old BBC TV shows, you know, Keeping Up Appearances and Blackadder and stuff like that. And also a lot of like movies like The Lathe of Heaven or the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. You know, there's a lot of great stuff on PBS back in the day.
But you got to remember back when I was a kid, we had ABC, NBC, CBS, and PBS, and that was the 4 channels, and you watched something on one of them. And on Saturday and Sunday, if you didn't want to watch race cars or boxing or some sports crap, you pretty much watched Cisco Kid and Boys to the Bottom of the Sea and all the old black and white TV shows they show on the weekend on PBS.
Indy just blew my mind.
I'm actually I did like a word jumble in my head because I like, no, that can't be actually, no, that's right, you know.
Cool. That's very cool.
AM, thank you again. As always, I stand amazed. No. Oh, is it my turn, by the way?
It is your turn.
Oh, cool. I shall take it. I'm actually, I have to open with it. I'm not doing this to be a smartass. I was going to do this anyway, but it's going to be fun to actually open with a movie Tug hasn't seen.
I know. It happens.
I'm going to go with a post-apocalyptic comedy, and it's Radioactive Dreams. And Tug, I'll try not to spoil it too much for you. Long story short, in the opening salvos of a nice hat, love the chapeau, très chic. In the opening salvos of a nuclear war, this guy puts 2 boys in a shelter so they will survive. And they come out years later having no contact with the outside world, which is now sort of balkanized and devolved into roving gangs like something out of The Warriors, only even freakier. Which is funny because I heard somewhere when war is being conceptualized, they considered making it post-apocalyptic. But the funny thing is, as they have no experience with the outside world, they take their experience from a stack of old war books they have laying around in the shelter. So they act and talk like something out of an old 1940s Humphrey Bogart, Sam Spade movie. And I always found this to be delicious because when I was a kid, I watched a lot of old movies and I thought World War II veterans were like living gods. So I used to try to emulate that stuff. And the funny thing is, it was about as culturally relevant in the 80s as it would be in a post-apocalyptic world. So I know what it's like to go around quoting the Maltese Falcon thinking that it will have an impact on people. But anyway, they go through and it becomes an odyssey, and they go through and they have all these adventures, and parts of it are very funny. And it's just such an incredibly fun film. And I was asking Tug today if it counted, and he said, I can't tell you, I haven't actually seen it. So for those of you who have, please tell me what you guys think. And for those of you who haven't, you have your homework. But anyway, my opening salvo is got to be Radioactive Dreams.
Yeah, when you warned me that this was coming, I looked it up on Wikipedia, and just a quick glance at the plot and the premise makes me wonder why I've never seen this movie. This looks amazing. You've got characters named, Chandler and Marlowe. I mean, come on. It's great. I'm a big fan of hard-boiled detective novels. I'm a big fan of post-apocalyptic fiction. I'm, why haven't I seen this? I'm a big fan of film noir, obviously. So, it's just wild. But I've never seen this.
You're trying to take my job away, Pons, because you picked one I haven't seen either and can't comment on, I don't think.
Wow.
It's a great film. Check it out. It's got to be available somewhere. If
what's the name of it exactly?
Radioactive Dreams. Radioactive Dreams.
Radioactive Dreams. Let's see if it's on YouTube.
My idea, I was actually going to rewatch it last night in preparation, and I can't find my copy. I have a copy. I just couldn't find it. And I eventually just gave up.
Apparently it is on YouTube.
I thought it was, but I actually have my own hard copy of physical media.
I still have to find it because I got to save it to a playlist to watch later movies.
Check.
So
I think you guys will show it. It's kind of reminiscent of Six String Samurai in many ways.
Oh yeah.
Possibly, but more tongue in cheek. Although Six String Samurai is actually very tongue in cheek.
Yeah, that's tongue in cheek too. Brogu. Hello, Brogu.
Brogue. How you doing?
It's on there many times, actually.
Yeah, I just did a quick search, and it was like the first thing that popped up was YouTube. I was just
anybody wants to watch it, I shared it out on my community post to be nice.
Excellent. Yeah, I will watch it and get back to you next week, Thrash, because that sounds like my kind of movie for sure. But I guess that means it's my turn again, since neither me nor Danny have anything to say.
I know.
I'm at a loss because you picked one that I'm going to watch because I haven't seen now that we talked about it.
So
Usually
I'm
I
going to
forget that.
Part 2 for part 3.
okay. I'm going to talk about one of my favorite terrible movies, and that is Robot Monster.
Robot Monster.
Which is like, I love this movie because I mean it's like a child's interpretation of the post-apocalypse. Like if you don't know the premise, the whole thing is a dream. Just spoil the ending for you. The whole thing is a kid's dream because he passes out.
Is this an Ed Wood movie, right?
No, it's not
No,
an Ed
but
Wood
you
movie,
think
but
so.
it does feel like an Ed
It
Wood
feels
movie,
like
for
it.
sure. Yeah. It's the same quality. That's what we're dealing with
The
here.
gorilla suit with the rope with the astronaut head.
That's
Okay.
the one.
I
Yeah,
always
yeah.
thought that was an Ed Wood movie. I swear I did.
It's not, but it very well feels like it could be. Yeah, but it's not. I have done a whole video on this movie because, like I said, it's one of my favorites. But I do like that it's all a child's dream, and in this child's dream, the entire population of Earth has been eradicated by this robot monster, which is a guy in an ape suit with a spaceman helmet for some reason. And he and his family are all that is left of the human race, and they like live in this wrecked apartment building, basically, just like it, just rubble. They just live in rubble, and they're surviving by having like electricity powered through the house to make it look like, to make them invisible to the robot monster. And the robot monster, his weapon, or his communication device is basically a bubble blower. This movie's great. I don't care what you say. This movie is amazing. It's so terrible. It's made on a budget of about $1.50. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about Robot Monster other than you have to watch it. It's great. It's a fantastic.
It's one of the most entertaining movies you can possibly find because it's almost like a spoof of a spoof.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's 70 minutes long. And half of that is the monster walking up and down a hill.
There's this one scene where the robot monster is like carrying the girl, right? And the girl's supposed to be screaming and kicking, and she's like laughing, and you can tell she's laughing. It's great.
And if I remember correctly, they were putting in one of those like 50s planned suburban communities, and what was supposed to be the rubble of their home is actually a foundation that was put in that they hadn't built over yet. And they had to hurry up and film all the scenes because the crew was coming up after the weekend to build the rest of the house. There's all these wonderful behind the scenes stories of the making of it. Like so many of the movies we talk about where the story behind it is almost as entertaining as the movie itself. There's a great scene. I'd like to say they could only afford one costume, but they couldn't afford that. They cobbled it together. They had the space helmet from one and the gorilla suit from another, but he gets his orders from his superior, but they couldn't afford another suit, so they just do like what I call mirror movies, where he actually plays his own commanding officer.
Yeah,
and he's like arguing with himself, and you can just tell he's just yelling at himself. It's like so funny. It's so entertaining, and I got some stock footage somewhere, and it looks like Irwin Allen level, like lizards fighting each other stuff, because initially it was like a dinosaur attack situation. The first wave of the alien invasion was they brought all these like dinosaur things to life that actually wiped out the human race. He was basically there. The Roman was there as a mop-up operation, but it's just so entertaining. I can't sing its praises enough.
Okay, I'm going to shrink everybody just for a second so that you can see this background. Nope, that's not how you do that. That didn't work at all. There we go.
That's awesome.
That's my robot.
You know, this movie's like one of them movies like The Giant Claw that I really love from my childhood. I've probably seen it 1,000 times and sat through it. Probably, it's shocking. It was still the old days, and I turned on the TV and it was on Turner Classic Movies, and this movie was coming on. I'd probably watch it because I love the feeling it gives me of nostalgia when I watch the old movies like this, or the Giant Claw, or I love the one about the tarantula, the one where
tarantula, yeah.
Or Earth versus the Spider.
The creature from the Black Lagoon.
There's actually two, and I mix them up myself. Actually, one of them has Clint Eastwood.
Like the creature from the Black Lagoon, all these nostalgic old classic movies.
The Deadly Mantis.
Oh God, that's probably my favorite of them all, man.
Love those movies.
I know. I have a
That's a
horrible
good idea.
love for them old black and white monster movies like that.
Oh, definitely, most definitely.
They're
Oh,
still my
and one
favorite.
other,
And I'd rather see them than 90% of the modern garbage being made today.
Do you say
Most
them as
definitely.
in all those movies, or them as in the movie them?
Them,
Them.
the giant ants and
Yeah.
them movies, both.
It's a great movie.
them
Yeah.
and
Them.
them,
Yes.
them in the specific or in the general term.
I still say, even after all these years, the movie Them with the giant ants, other than the special effects of the giant ants, the acting, the camera work, the whole storyline, it
Yes,
stands
Slasher
up
Fred.
today. Yeah, it really does. Right down to Los
And-
Angeles being a cesspool even back then.
It's said that Mara Corday helped him get the part in Tarantula because she was like the heroine in it, and they were like besties, and he was just starting out, but she was established. Years later, when she needed work, he would have her like in sudden Impact, one of the Dirty Harry movies. Or actually, I think even more than one. But she plays the woman who works in the coffee shop that he frequents.
Okay.
And he was trying to get some work when she did work towards the end. Oh, and this is anecdotal. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a great story either way. Initially, the Man, which is a play on robot, obviously.
Right.
Initially, it was called the Stobor, which is robot spelled backwards.
Right.
It was going to be like, but Robert Heinlein coined that term in one of his novels, and this is just after Heinlein tried suing the people who made what was it called? Brain Eaters. He tried to sue the Brain Eaters. So they were afraid that Heinlein would sue them because he was getting a reputation of suing people who stole his intellectual property. So at the last minute, they changed it to the Roman. I don't know if it's true, but it's a great story nonetheless.
I just wanted to highlight this comic because I didn't know this. This sounds really cool. Nigel Neal's the guy who wrote Quatermass, so like, you know, he's royalty in sci-fi. I did not know that he wrote something that's a ghost story that somehow is a post-apocalyptic fiction. That sounds great. But like most BBC stuff, it's no longer existing.
You did a video about the Quatermass thing recently.
Quatermass, yeah, the first one.
Yeah, and I watched that, and I was like, I don't really remember a lot about this. And I went back and rewatched that movie on kind of your video and found out that it was really just beyond brilliant, by the way.
It's a great movie.
It was as good as you made it sound. I don't know why. I'd seen it 30 years ago, but some of it had slipped the mind.
It mostly gets overshadowed by Quatermass in the Pit, the third Quatermass movie. Like, that's the one everybody remembers. But I had to highlight the first
20 million miles to Earth over here or something.
Well, no, 20 Million Miles to Earth is a completely different movie. That's a Ray Harryhausen movie. But yeah, it was something.
You're thinking of 5 million.
The one with the grasshopper looking aliens.
5 million years
the
to
grasshopper
Earth.
aliens. Yeah.
5 million years.
That's 5 million years to Earth.
That's a fun
Which, of course, which was the template for that really, really hot girl going around naked in it. Life Force. Life Force is a
That's all you had to
ripoff
say.
of
Life
5
Force.
Yeah, the really hot girl walking around naked, you know. May was her name, I think.
Matilda May.
All I know is that I had this really great Life Force trailer, and she was walking around butt naked. It got up on YouTube, and they never messed with me one time about it. But I put a cartoon butt of Vampirella up, and it got me a strike.
You just never know with YouTube, man.
Yeah,
Never know.
The show's to go, yeah. So
I guess that means it's my turn again. No, wait, I just did Robot Monsters. It's Stan's turn.
Yeah.
oh, God.
Amy's turn.
Well, I guess it's time for me to disappoint the world with the most crappiest apocalyptic movie ever made. You know, I want to talk about something cool like the Omega Man or whatever, but we did all that last week, and I'm having to dig down deep to find new stuff to talk about. So I got to talk about the incredible crappy movie where everybody's dying and we don't know why. They stand in a field and it's all dead, and we don't know why. We just know that something is happening the happening. And I watched that movie 3 times and I still don't know what the hell was happening. All I know is people would die and we'd move on, and more people would die in the field and we'd move on. This has to be the crappiest end of the world movie ever made. If that was happening around here, I'd run out in the field and say, please let it happen to me to get it over with. What do you think?
You know, prior to this movie, M. Night Shyamalan had a really good talent for like picking the best actors for his movies. Even like the bad movies like Lady in the Water had a really great cast. But then The Happening, it stars Mark Wahlberg and Zoe Deschanel. And look, I don't hate either of those actors, but they're not good actors at all. And you don't take them seriously. You can't take them seriously. Especially Mark Wahlberg as a science teacher and all he's doing is what? No, the whole movie. It's oh god, that movie's it's hard to watch because it's that bad. It's not so bad it's fun. It's just bad.
What are you guys, please tell me what the hell was happening?
The plants were seeking revenge. But that's it. That's what was happening.
It's the whole Gaia vengeance idea that eventually the Earth will actually fight. We'll see the humans as a threatening body and try to wipe them out. And what it does is it targets humans when they're actually dangerous. So when you show high emotions or anger, the trees kick in and say, target them. So the spores only go after you if you're showing violent emotion. The premise itself, I think if it, it's like the pieces were there. It was, I'm always saying like when people make short horror films, particularly post-apocalyptic films on YouTube, they tend to have a lot of expositional dialogue because they want to get the people up to speed. And I usually comment, we can pretty much infer what's happened. This is our subgenre, so you don't need to. Oh, you don't need to fill us in on things that we can infer. It was almost like he took that and ran with it. I won't explain it. It's a stupid plot. It's a stupid premise. So you know what? It just happened. We're there. Go. And I couldn't agree with you more. If there was a movie where the two actors were more over their head than this, maybe Geely, but I don't know. It was just the two of them. And like all post-apocalyptic road movies, and as we've discussed, they're all road movies, there's always that one obligatory scene where they stumble upon someone who's so cut off that they don't know what's going on, and they kind of set up shop there. And I'm like, okay, I know this one. This chapter will work. And that chapter failed. And I can't even tell. I think it was a miscast. The lady, I can't think of her name to save my life. I do apologize. She's best known. She was in Newhart. She was the matron in the Newhart TV show for years. I haven't seen her in much else. But she was so terribly cast, it didn't work there either. And it's a pity, too, because that could have been a pretty good scene, and it wasn't. So, yeah.
So, now that you've explained it and I understand it a little bit better, so basically, the plants and bushes are pissed off, and they're pissing poison pollen that makes people go nuts and die.
Yes, that's the plot.
That's the stupid effing thing I ever heard in my life.
Yes, it's pretty dumb. Especially since in the end they just decide to stop. That they've made their point.
Well, now I know what's happening.
Wow. Like I used to be an apologist for M. Night Shyamalan.
Now the movie's even worse than I thought it was.
Oh, it's so bad.
I liked it better when I didn't know what was happening. If I was going to make a movie that bad, I'd leave it open-ended where nobody knew what happened. If I couldn't come up with no better crap than that.
And I don't really blame the characters for, ending themselves. If I was in that movie, I probably would too.
That's what I'm saying. By the time I was halfway through it, I wanted to end myself. I wound up watching that movie a couple of times just trying to get it and never could. Like, what's happening?
It's not good. It's like when Mrs. Thrash watched the Attic Exposition, and she's like, "Can you do me a favor? I feel like I didn't get this. Watch it and explain it to me." And I watched it, and I go, "It's not very good." She goes, "Oh, thank God. I thought I just didn't get it." No, it's just not very good. It's like
sometimes that happens. They try to make the movie seem really deep to hide the fact that they don't have anything to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch movies and think about them and think I know everything about them, and then I'll talk to Tug and he'll tell me this, that, or the other about them, and I'll have to watch the movie again from a different perspective to re-grasp it. Like, oh, I missed that. Why didn't I get that point or whatever?
Oh, I feel terrible now. I thought it was the matron in Newhart. It was the mom. The stepmom for me is enough.
But just to point out, I'm a little slow sometimes. I didn't know Bruce Willis was dead till the end of the movie.
Hey, I know a lot of people who didn't see that twist coming.
Yeah,
I'm not one of them, but I knew a lot of it. It's fine. It's fine to not see a twist coming.
Well, the second time I was like, oh God, I should have caught it, but I didn't. So sometimes I ain't that quick on the uptake, buddy.
Indeed, yes. Okay, so Thresh, I think that means it's your turn again.
Oh, cool. I'm actually going to go with an early one. One while the genre was still trying to get its legs. And it's actually a shockingly insightful and kind of heavy film for the 1950s, and it's Panic in the Year Zero.
Ah, yes. It is also.
And Ray Milland stars in it, and it's so funny because Ray Milland is like kind of a very, it's like a well-known established dramatic actor. He's been in a shockingly large amount of fiction, particularly schlocky fiction. And he plays the patriarch. Long story short, what happens is this family is planning a getaway, so they're all packed up and in their little trailer or van, and they're all going to go off into the forest. And while they're doing this, World War III happens. And this is at the peak of Cold War terrors. And they basically run with it. So they're very well set up. And they basically just set up shop in the woods and try to survive. And one of the things I always thought this movie was a template for so many other future movies because there's so much that comes up in it that is actually done later. Instantly, people start profiteering. Other people start hoarding. Some towns try to cut themselves off from the world altogether with like border guards. And one of the key things, and it's kind of surprising seeing this in a movie in the 1950s, one of the main subplots is not only would there be marauding gangs out there trying to survive by stealing from others, the concept of almost institutionalized violence against women, I think is the only tactful way I can say it, is illustrated rather graphically, again, for a 1950s film. And Frankie Avalon's in it, and most people remember him from the Beach movies, but he actually does a surprisingly good job as the sort of spoiled teenage son turned survivalist.
Did you see what happened to Mrs. Jones?
No, I did not miss.
You're still on that.
Mrs. Jones. Sorry.
Wasn't she
And,
the one? Never mind.
Yes.
I think we're having two different conversations going on. But
We are. He's still hung up on The Happening.
Oh, okay, yeah. I saw the movie once 30 years ago, so or whenever it came out, which is close to 30 years ago.
It is on my list.
Man takes his family up into the mountains to survive a Holocaust, right? And he's got Frankie Avalon with him, and they're in that little silver
Frankie
trailer.
Avalon, yeah.
Yes.
And people down the street get killed, and the lady gets bad things happen to her, and she's laying in the bushes when they find her. Remember? That was Mrs. Jones, man. Come on.
I forgot that was her name. Thank you.
Family, whatever. Never mind.
I just forgot that was it. I do remember. It's a family that does set up shop near them, and that's how we find out about the gangs of roving ravagers. I think would be the most politically correct way of putting it. But again, for a 1950s movie, it's pretty intense, and it holds up to this day. I mean, it gives us kind of a Hollywood ending to it. As opposed to future post.
That movie could not have been more disturbing if Alfred Hitchcock had directed it himself.
I'll buy that. I don't know who directed it, but I'll buy that. I think it was
Ray Milland.
When I saw that movie as a kid, I was like 10, and that movie.
Yeah, it's an AIP movie.
So that movie was psycho disturbing, man. It really was.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It's a lot darker than you would expect from early 60s, especially from American International, who, were mostly known as Roger Corman type movies.
I mean, come on, one week.
Was it early 60s?
It was 62. That's what Indy
one week
said.
on TV, you see Ray Milland running around with two heads and Rosie Greer, and you laugh. The next week, you see Ray Milland in a swamp with a big frog, and you laugh. And then the next week, you see this movie, and you're sitting there with your mouth up and going, "What the hell just happened?" That wasn't funny at all, dog.
I'm trying to figure out if I must have known Ray Milland directed and just forgot. I couldn't have not known that. So it's like so many other things. But thank you for telling me, because I honestly didn't know
true?
or recall either way. Thank
yeah,
you.
Ray Milland directed it himself.
Was that the only movie he ever directed, like Stephen King?
No, he did direct a few, not a lot, but he directed a few.
Because that, okay, I'm not.
And Graham, I got to tell you, I've never seen Glenn and Randa, but out of the blue, I saw, probably when I was preparing for this, I saw some buzz about it and looks amazing. I must see Glenn and Randa.
Yeah, he directed a few movies. Let's see, A Man Alone, The River's Edge, The Safecracker. No idea.
I'm not familiar with none of them.
Yeah, me neither.
But again, he was mostly a dramatic actor. That's why it's
sure.
so fun that he did so much sci-fi.
Every day I become more and more disappointed when I discover more and more movies I haven't heard of.
Yeah, I like literally just actually, you know what? That's probably I was probably watching something on Robert Redford and he mentioned it, and that's what made me go looking for it.
There you go.
But again, I've never seen it. But it looks amazing. It really does.
Yeah, then somebody else mentioned Damnation Alley. I think it was Lance in the chat.
We get Paul Newman and Robert Redford mixed up sometimes on kind of, they both have salad dressing.
That great salad dressing, yeah.
No, you get them mixed up. I can tell them apart. You get them.
Well, Paul Newman's salad dressing are better than Robert Redford.
I still want to see this Robert Redford salad dressing.
Although I got into a heated argument once with somebody because I swore up and down that it was Jason Robards in Yours, Mine, and Ours, and the person took the greatest joy in pointing out to me, no, it's Henry Fonda, you jackass. So it's funny how often you can actually remember someone in a completely different role that they weren't in, but somehow remember it was them. You know what I'm
saying? Tracy, well, that depends on whether or not you count Captain America as sci-fi, or let's see, Sneakers, kind of, sort of sci-fi. That's about all I got. Anyway,
Paul Newman was in Quintet.
Okay, I don't even know what that is.
I mean, I can't talk about it.
You're finding all my blind spots today, Thrash.
By accident. I'm not being an asshole, I promise. It's all by
I don't care. I don't mind.
Good.
So for my turn, let's see. Well, since I'm going to do this again next week, I'm going to save that one for next week. This week, I will mention The Quiet Earth.
Oh, God.
What do you mean, oh, God?
What is wrong with you, Dan? It's a great movie. You just don't like it because the guy wears a dress in it. So The Quiet Earth is this weird post-apocalyptic. It's more like a post-rapture movie where everybody just vanishes. And the people who are left behind, for most of the movie, it seems like there's only one, but you do come across a couple others, were people who, by coincidence, happened to have died at the exact moment of that rapture and were resuscitated somehow. They discovered that there's some kind of scientific anomaly that caused it from like this. It's basically, I don't remember. It's supposed to be like a scientific facility, but it's just a factory that they filmed. And I think this movie was made in New Zealand or maybe Australia. I don't remember.
New Zealand. No, you're right. New Zealand. It was their first science fiction film.
It's really wild. It's not necessarily about surviving so much as it is like maintaining your sanity or not maintaining your sanity, because the whole movie is this guy's descent into utter madness. He forgot that he basically tried to kill himself before the movie starts.
Apparently boredom drove him crazy.
Actually, there is some of that in there where he is dealing with boredom. There's this one scene where he is in a nightgown, a woman's nightgown, in an empty stadium, like
that's the part where the
giving a speech to like cardboard cutouts and stuff. So he's Looney Tunes.
and at that point in the movie is where the audience decides they boringly going crazy too.
Don't let Dan fool you. It's a great movie. I highly recommend it. And I will not spoil the ending, although the ending is probably what makes the movie the most famous. That last shot will blow your mind.
I spoil the ending for y'all and bore you to death.
Warning you, Dan. Dan, warning you. Be nice.
Anyway, The Quiet Earth. I like it because it's a psychological movie.
Without spoiling anything, I will say the ending was absolutely the best part of that movie. Because when the credits scrolled, I smiled from ear to ear and was so glad it was over.
Well, we're in agreement at least. The ending is. I found this movie by mistake, pretty much when I was in college. It was on, I think, one of those like.
Well, when I discovered it, it was on like Bravo. Yeah.
It was on what?
Bravo. Back when Bravo used to do like obscure movies. Like I've learned a lot of movies through the old days of Bravo.
Well, I had to watch it in a little box where it was all out of shape. You know how they did the widescreen in the small box thing? Yeah. I had to watch it in the small box because I watched it on Comet and they sucked.
It was suggested somewhere, and I just like the title. It was like one of those things. And I was in college, so I was going through my foreign film phase where foreign film is better than American. American is mundane and banal and mainstream. I like foreign film. Oh, get your head out of here. Anyway, I saw it. And I fell in love with this movie. I mean, because again, it's almost like the first half of the movie, it's a one-man show. It's really, as you say, him and his descent to madness, and it's riveting. And then when he does finally meet other people, and it's meet here is the wrong way of putting it, but like in I Am Legend or Damnation Alley or other films where people think they're alone, they find someone else, and that sort of
yeah.
And when they finally go the World of Flesh and the Devil route, where the third guy shows up, or the third person shows up, and that of course complicates everything. But it's such a great scene because he's met the girl and they're kind of doing their thing, and then a third guy shows up and the guy's putting a gun at him. He goes, "Are you the only one?" He goes, yes, I'm the only one. And as he's saying, "I'm the only one," you hear a voice on the radio, and he goes, "You tell lies." And the guy's like, "Well, come on, what do you expect me to do?" It's like, "Well, no, yeah, you're right. Of course, you'd lie. I'd lie." So,
you know, that sounds
really
so amazingly similar to a TV show called The Last Man on Earth.
Is it?
It was a horrible TV show.
I never saw that show.
It's a horrible TV show. I recommend you don't watch it, but that's basically the plot to it.
Oh, I've heard nothing about bad things.
People show up and drama ensues. And the guy that plays in that TV show is the worst actor that ever existed. Mr. Snuffleupagus or something is his name.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm going to have to look this up.
I don't even know.
That was Zach Galifianakis. Wasn't it Zach Galifianakis?
That's what I said, Zach Snuffleupagus.
Oh, that's
Mr. Snuffleupagus.
You were joking that he could have started the voice of the Snuffleupagus on Sesame Street.
No, that guy.
Remember there was that old rumor for years that Michael Keaton got his start as the dancing bear in a kid show.
Okay, say his name one time.
Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Snuffleupagus.
It's actually Will Forte, but yeah.
Oh, it was Will Forte, so it wasn't Zach. It's all right. I apologize. I thought it was.
I Vin caught it at the same time I looked it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so they never watched the show. You can understand why I wasn't certain. But
I didn't know his name neither. I thought it was the Snuffleupagus guy. But
they're similar.
It's called The Last Man on Earth. I watched like the first two seasons before I wanted to pluck my eyeballs out with a fork.
If it was so bad, why did you watch 2 full seasons?
Because I didn't know how to install the DVR.
One season with The Last of Us. Ooh.
When I first got the new DVR, I knew how to start recording on shows and everything. I just couldn't find in the computer to go in and take them off, so it just kept recording. And I can't have something on DVR and not watch it before I delete it.
By the way, has anyone actually, and this goes for you or Danny or anyone in the chat, did anyone manage to get through the entire second season of The Last of Us?
No. After the first season, I didn't even bother because I knew what the story of the second season was going to be.
I didn't make it through the first
really?
season. That's one of them episode 4 things for me. Episode 5.
I
love
love
the
the
season.
first
First season's
season.
great, but I knew
Yeah,
I had to
I
quit
made
then because I knew the
Really?
story was only going to go downhill from there.
You
Well,
should have. You should have.
I got a perfect example. Here's a
made
perfect
the right choice.
example. A perfect example. I started watching Alien Earth, got to
Ugh.
watch the 4th episode, and the rest of them are still on the DVR because I just hadn't got around to them yet. The excitement has fell off. I'm not all happy about this show like I was in the beginning. You know?
My
Oh, yes.
feelings of that show are pretty
Yeah. Well, I'm not a big fan
vitriolic.
of Simbot Love, so.
The Ultimate Warrior, the movie that has the good Will Smith. Ooh.
Hello, Sarah. How are you?
Greetings.
Sister Sarah, love you, babe. So, I lost track. Whose turn is it?
Let's see. Dan had
Did that count as a turn? Talking about that show?
no, because I
Oh,
said
okay.
the Quiet Earth, so now it's Dan's turn.
Dan's turn.
Well, since Sarah's in the chat, and she really should be on here because she lives in California where apocalypse is around the corner everywhere you look. Let's go with the most apocalyptic end of the earth movie of the modern times. Can you guess what it is? The most apocalyptic, earth destroying, very few people survive, total annihilation. California goes down in a puff of smoke, and I'm talking about a movie called 2012.
Oh yes, 2012.
This has to be the most destructive, earth-destroying, apocalyptic movie I ever saw. I saw all of California go down, and then I watched Mount St. Helens go off, and Woody Harrelson buys the farm. They fly around the world, and you get to see China go down right before they all jump on boats and float away. What a great movie. I really like this piece of crap. Am I the only one that liked it?
Yeah. Like, not to be blunt, but yeah,
Notice I called it a piece of crap at the end of my sentence.
You can't say anything nice, so I'm not going to say anything.
Look, I'm not gonna take it away from you if you enjoy this movie, because I can see how you might enjoy it as just being really dumb Roland Emmerich entertainment. But for me, like, the moment John Cusack is in a car and like the ground is literally like going up by like, kilometers essentially, and he like jumps off of this one crack in the world, and then the other part of the world comes up to meet him and catches him. I'm just like, this is a cartoon. It's really
Yes.
bad.
Yes. If Bugs Bunny did it, I'd say it was too far-fetched.
I like this movie the same way I like the Giant Claw for its absurdity, stupidity, and it just and no matter what you say, the special effects in this movie are over the top good. You believe the garbage looks good.
I mean, fair enough. I
when
did
Mount
talk about Robot Monster, so you're
When
allowed.
Mount St. Helens blows up in this movie with the Woody Harrelson thing and everything, and that they race away with the plane, it is one of the most realistic volcano eruptions in a movie I ever saw. It looked good.
Mr. Emmerich kind of goes the route of the old Irwin Allen disaster films in the 70s, where the physics aren't supposed to enter into it. And
yeah,
as Aldous always said, science fiction is no more for scientists than ghost stories are written for ghosts. So, I mean, I'll give him that. But at a certain point, these types of movies, they insult your intelligence. Like, one of my favorites, this was actually in The Day After, not 2012, but the scene where the temperature plummets, and so they run away. They're trying to outrun cold, and they do it just to ratchet up the tension, but it's like, no, you can't outrun thermodynamics. It just, and so, yeah, so those movies, to me, it's like the old line from Mighty Mouse. Oh, that's just plain hard to believe. When the whole movie is just hard to believe, it's hard to actually get carried along. When someone's telling you a bullshit story, it has to be believable enough where you'll actually be carried along by the narrator. He pushes the envelope, and that's just me. So sorry, Dan.
Like I said, you're allowed to love it, and I can actually see why somebody would enjoy it.
Yeah, no judgment here, but I can't.
Once again, I might be a little bit biased to the movie. I'm a big John Cusack fan.
I am also a big fan.
Ever since I saw the movie
Love John
Gross
Cusack.
Point Blank, and I just love the John Cusack movies.
No, I love John Cusack. He's
John
doing
Cusack is
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
I swear
John
this
Cusack
big
is awesome.
giant plane just flowed over really fast, and it was so huge and fast and loud.
Oh yeah,
Which is weird because there's some type of like observation plane flying behind my property too. It was like that old Ray Bradbury story where the kids are building the what do they call it? The spaceports on both sides of
Oh yeah.
I think it just flew over here like a
the
B-52
kids
from World War II. I think it flew through a time portal or something.
The final countdown. Yeah.
They have things on YouTube where they speculate on whether or not that would actually work.
Really?
If one modern flat top could actually take out the combined naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan, probably, but it's not as much of a barn burner as you'd think. But they probably could.
I mean, yeah, it'd be fun to see.
And again, sorry if I insulted personal taste.
Vim mentions The Day After Tomorrow, another Roland Emmerich.
Actually, that was going to be my next choice if we got another round.
Where people actually are trying to outrun.
I just talked about that one. Yeah, that was
I don't actually hate The Day After Tomorrow. I think it's stupid, but I don't feel the same way I feel about 2012. Like 2012, I just can't even watch. Whereas The Day After Tomorrow,
I think 2012 is entertaining a whole lot more than the people in that building with the fake freeze. If they was really freezing, if they was really a flash freeze like that, everybody in that building would look like a mammoth, no matter how big their fire was.
You're not wrong.
Wasn't Tammy Tamanaka in that?
Tammy Tamanaka? I don't even know who that is.
The girl from Karate Kid 2?
Oh!
I do not know.
I don't know that.
Sorry, I have a crush on her. So
I think I did at one point too.
Who couldn't? But that's why I said her name like it was Marilyn Monroe. It's like,
Yeah.
Who? What? Okay, which one of us is wrong, Indy? We all did some pretty big checks there with her.
Yeah, I don't see her on the cast list, so she's not in.
I might be thinking of a different movie, but maybe that's what I was wrong about.
Yeah.
Somebody just pitched at me that I was wrong, and that Robert Redford had a salad. And I'm
okay, Texas Night.
In the universe where I'm from, they both had salad dressings. Leave me alone.
I will say 2012 is probably better than The Core, but you're entitled to love The Core. One of my best friends actually thinks The Core is the greatest thing ever.
Oh my God, that's worse than the Claw.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
you could
again, if you like it, you like it. I'm not going to take that away from you.
That movie's rotten to the core, man. Come on.
I just said that.
I think it's your turn, Thrash.
I knew I'd heard it somewhere.
And I'm in, to an extent. Okay, thank you. Anyway, where was I?
So it's rotten to the core.
Rotten, I tell you, boy. Rotten it was.
Sorry, I had to.
No, it was perfect. It was perfect. Thank you. Since we were just talking about The Quiet Earth, I'm going to actually give a movie that actually has some exposition to it. I'm going to go with another New Zealand post-apocalyptic film, Battle Truck. And talk about films I saw by mistake. I remember I was visiting my grandparents up in Plymouth. I want to say it was probably Thanksgiving or something. And me and my cousins were relegated to the family room downstairs because the adults were like talking adult stuff. And we put on whatever movie channel they had, and we just happened to catch this movie, Battle Truck. And I was like 12, 13, I think. And I was like, it's like this movie was Mad Max before there was Mad Max. It's just such an amazing movie. Basically, it's in a post-apocalyptic world, and there's this survivalist former military colonel who is now just out for himself. And he has this like super crazy, like something out of like a Speed Racer cartoon battle truck. It's like a G.I. Joe super mobile fortress thingy. And he roams the world. Of course, his biggest problem is, he needs fuel. And he just happens to find a fuel depot next to this community that's holding on in the post-apocalyptic world. And he takes them over. And he is thwarted by our hero, who in typical Pale Rider style, he's a motorcyclist played by oh dear God, I can't think of his name. He was Swan in the Warriors, and I knew his name until I went to say played by. But he was like right off the heels of the Warriors, right before he did Xanadu, which killed his career. So this is when he was still an up and comer. But I fell in love with this movie. It has everything. It has super
Michael
violence.
Yeah, Michael Beck.
Michael Beck.
Thank you, Michael Beck. Thank you. It was killing me. It just it has sex, it has violence, it has everything a 13-year-old thinks is cool. Again, it's really more of like a Western or a sword
You know what
and sandal movie.
amazes me, Pons? You amaze me, Pons, that you dug this movie up out of the Australian back septic tank of movies that it is, and actually picked a movie that I watched this week for some reason.
What?
I actually watched this
What are the
piece of
odds?
crap this week. I love this movie. It's great.
Doesn't it have John Ratzenberger in it? It's like
It
Yes.
entertained me. It entertained me on so many levels.
And yeah,
I
as
watched another one that had another one that was basically the same movie, but it had a car with a giant bunch of spikes on it, like something out of Beetlejuice.
I think my confusion was I didn't get to see. Wait, I hadn't seen Mad Max until after I saw Battle Truck.
Oh, okay,
And
but Mad
I
Max did come
believe-
first.
But I believe, correct me if I'm wrong.
I
It
didn't
was
see
Mad
it
Max,
last
then
week.
Battle Truck came out, and then the Road Warrior. Battle Truck was before the Road Warrior.
Believe
correct?
that's
Or am
correct.
I never
Road
saw
Warrior
Battle
was-
Trucks till like 7 days ago when I watched it.
I've seen it before, but it's been a long time.
I didn't
Like, I
even
rented
sit
it
back
from
and
Blockbuster. That's how long
We've
ago
been
it
on this
was.
apocalyptic movie kick. I've been watching a few apocalyptic movies.
Hey, Entertainment Headquarters. Hello.
Kevin, how you doing, bro? Oh, and I have a little anecdote that I have to tell about it. Speaking of it, New Zealand. Remember how I said The Quiet Earth was the first attempt New Zealand ever made, the New Zealand film industry ever made to make a science fiction film? There's this guy, Terry Talks Movies. I'm sure many of you have checked out his channel. He actually is from Australia, and he was talking about how The Quiet Earth was New Zealand's first foray into sci-fi. And I go, wait, what about Battle Truck? And he went, nope. You can't count that. That was an American film, which happened to be set in New Zealand. And by the way, you guys are so right. The reason they set it in New Zealand is because, now that I remember, they were right in the crest of the exploitation. They were deliberately
Yes.
going for a Mad Max / Road Warrior feel. But again, I saw this movie first. I hadn't seen it because I was like a kid, and I don't even think the Road Warrior came out on Cape Cod. I think I had to wait till it came out on videotape sometime later. So it predates it only to me personally. So thank you for correcting me, because chronologically in the universe, and actually those movies did come out first. But thanks. But again, speaking of chronological, I actually lost this argument to Terry Talks Movies over Battle Truck not counting as a New Zealand film.
I have trouble remembering yesterday. I can't remember every year a movie was made. I remember seeing it. I remember what the movie's about. To me, that's doing good.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at it too, honestly. Even the movies I've covered on my channel will be like, what year was that? I don't know.
I have to
70
look
something.
something up, and I'm even worse at telling you who played what parts. It's like
I am good at that.
It's like that one guy. I never can remember his name, but he's in every movie ever made. But I never can
I'll
remember.
never forget what's his name.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
his
I
name?
know his face. It's like in The Highland. He's in, I think, Bucket of Blood or something. It's just
Oh,
Little
I,
Shop of Horrors.
yeah,
Eating
Little
flowers,
Talk.
Little Shop of Horrors. You know this guy. I
Yeah,
never.
yeah.
Yes,
Dick Miller.
I can never remember that damn name. I feel like such
There
a
you
dick.
go, Indy. As soon as you said Bucket of Blood, I knew who you were talking about. I just had to get the wheels turning.
I can't remember the name though. It never sticks.
It's a very generic name, Dick Miller.
I don't know why. It's just some things don't click. Well, and then again, I'll be 60 in November, so there you go. I guess when you reach a certain age, you have to make room for new material. You have to push some old stuff out.
The Terminator. See, I guess it does count depending on how you do it
Well,
chronology wise.
Terminator 2 has that segment in it.
Yeah.
In the old, and then there's the dream sequence in Terminator 1. So
Is it a dream
it certainly
sequence
has
or a
elements.
memory? Is the dream sequence a dream sequence or a memory?
That's an excellent question.
But I mean, like,
I always thought it was
From
him
from the
remembering.
perspective of from the perspective of Reese or the Terminator, it's still after the apocalypse. Like just because they went back in time, it's still in their timeline. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
So, but yes, I'd say that's a countsies because it does touch upon it. Yes.
Yes.
And yes, it could be a dream sequence because the picture burns up, and he has it later on.
So that is a good point.
Good point.
Yes, Dick Miller.
And the coolest thing is they have this whole what is that thing where you can actually have an empathetic contact with somebody else, almost like the dreamscape situation, because he's dreaming of the dogs catching the Terminator, and she says, "I had a dream of dogs," and he goes, "Oh yeah, I was dreaming of that too." It's this really cool scene. They don't really go anywhere with it, but I always thought that was interesting that they had.
That's right. He is in the Terminator. He's in the gun store. Dick Miller.
Oh yeah, I might close early.
He's in everything. I told you.
I forgot.
You know, for years I thought he was the creepy diner owner in After Hours, and apparently that wasn't him.
Let me rephrase.
I just happens to look like him, but apparently
he's in all of the good movies.
For me, like the first thing I remember him from when I was a kid was Gremlins, like Mr. Futterman. And that's always the first thing that pops in my mind. Even though I've seen so much more of Dick Miller since then, especially when I went through my Roger Corman phase, he's still Mr. Futterman to me and always will be.
Little Shop of Horrors. I think that's the thing I remember him from, Little Shop of Horrors.
And yeah, he's in every single Joe Dante movie. Yep.
The one for me where I first caught his face and started catching him and everything was when I saw him in the Highland when he was the guy selling the silver bullets, and I was like, I got to get me some of them. It's his him in that store is the reason I ordered my silver bullets that I have. I got 5 left.
I'd forgotten that. I'd completely forgotten that. Yeah.
Anyway,
John Hurd is the bartender who's actually Marcy's boyfriend, but they hang out. They go to they go to a diner, and he doesn't charge them because it's after hours, and it's actually the name drop of the movie. It's not a particularly good movie, I must say. I mean, it's not bad. It was one of those movies in the 80s that was trying so hard to be innovative. I think the innovation got away from the actual good filmmaking. But that's just me.
Okay, random fact about John Hurd. When John Hurt was approached to play Kane in Alien, he had to turn it down because he was scheduled to be in a movie in South Africa that was set in South Africa and was filmed in South Africa. But the South African government didn't let him in because they thought he was John Hurd, and John Hurd had political opinions that South Africa didn't like at the time. And so John Hurt was free, and so he went back to Alien and said, "Okay, I'll do it." So there you go. He got mixed up with John Hurd.
Story.
So you're saying apparently the people in Africa can't spell?
Apparently, they don't know the difference between John Hurd and John Hurt. Yes.
I thought English prevailed in that country. I guess I was wrong.
I love that. This is completely unrelated, but it just shows that little synchronicity of the entertainment industry. Strother Martin hosted Saturday Night Live once, and his story is that he was approached by SNL casters in a restaurant, and they say, "We would love to have you host the show," and he agreed. And it was because they thought he was Tennessee Williams. By the time they realized their mistake.
Whoops.
And the funny thing is, he actually looks surprisingly like Tennessee Williams.
We could do a whole show on Saturday Night Live mysteries.
That's true.
Oh,
like why George Carlin hosted the first episode of Saturday Night Live ever, and they never asked him back.
He never figured
Not
that
even
out.
for the anniversary.
He actually talks about that. He couldn't figure that part out. Yeah, but
Weird.
I wanted to see that. Speaking about behind the scenes stuff, I wanted to see that movie that was about the first night. Because there's a bunch of clips about it on YouTube, and it talked about all the craziness that happened behind the scenes while they were trying to get ready. And I got to tell you, the actors that got to play the various characters are outstanding. Like the guy that got to play Billy Crystal looks like exactly like a young Billy Crystal. The guy that got to play Chevy Chase, he's actually better looking than Chevy Chase was, but his actions and mannerisms are like outstanding. the guy that got to play Belushi. You'd think they cloned Belushi. It was just,
Wow.
It was a very in-depth movie, but I don't think they quite got it right. It just didn't.
Chance
there was
really likes it.
there was something off about it. I don't know what. But like the story was just bull.
I've only seen clips, but the clips
Yeah.
I've seen are outstandingly entertaining.
I watched an interview with Chevy Chase, and he said the movie was great fan fiction.
I don't know if I believe much of Chevy Chase.
And anecdotally, supposedly, after when the movie did a test screening, they had invited Chevy Chase, and afterwards, Chevy Chase, in typical Chevy Chase fashion, went up to him, the filmmaker, and said, "You got everything wrong," and walked away. And he goes, "That's when I knew I did it right."
Well, yeah. Chevy Chase.
I heard that story too.
Anyway, yeah, I like I said, Chance really likes it, and I've wanted to see it. I'll catch it eventually.
Yeah, someday I'll see it too, but I do
saw-
like the clips.
I saw a bunch of the little 8-minute clips from it on a channel. I haven't seen the whole movie yet. I've seen enough to know what to get the general picture.
Okay.
I think what they did was I think they took a whole slew of stories and crammed them into this was the first night. Because some of the anecdotes they've told, by my recollection, happened in different seasons and whatnot.
That makes sense.
Like there's a great story involving King of Television, Milton Berle. And it's supposed to be on the first night. My understanding was that actually happened in a later season. But it's still a great story.
Yeah, a movie, especially like biography movies or historical movies, do that a lot, like consolidate a lot of time into one space. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah,
or move facts around because they work better in a narrative. If this happened before this, it would make more sense.
Exactly.
Well, but it makes more sense.
That's one thing that's really cool. I can say that I was around when Saturday Night Live did its first initial run, and I was there on Saturday nights watching Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd and Curtin and all the crew do their thing. I've seen most of the first episodes live.
I can't say that. I was technically alive.
On TV. It was the one comedy show that actually made me pop and laugh out loud. Like whenever Dan Aykroyd would go, "Jane, you ignorant slut," I'd fall out the chair. I would literally fall out.
I was alive, but my mom didn't let me stay up that late. When the show first came out. Yeah.
I was lucky because my parents were reasonably young and partiers, so they wasn't hardly ever home on a Saturday night, so there wasn't nobody to tell me what I could watch or how late I could stay up. And so I was usually up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning watching movies or TV shows or something in the day.
Anyway, before Dan gets abducted, I think we got to call it. It's about an hour and a half now. So, Thrash, what have you got going tonight?
I'm doing a random live show. I'm not even sure there's going to be trivia. I basically like fudged this whole week. So I am going to do a show. It's going to be random mission guts. Maybe there'll be trivia. Maybe there'll just be like random like questions thrown out. And and Tuesday.
Let me throw this in there real quick. Why don't you do an AMA, ask me anything night, and let the chat ask you questions about movies or whatever?
Pretty sure we do that.
All right, I'll do an AMA. So AM, I'm going to do an MA. And if Sarah's still here, there's something of an oops. I was supposed to do the part 2 of the Battle of the Dad Jokes this Tuesday. She scheduled it for like 2:30 my time. I'll be at work. So we might have to reschedule again. But we will burn that bridge when we get to it. That'll be discussed tonight. But there will be a show tonight at 7, I promise.
I didn't have a curfew either, Tracy, but that's just because I was the youngest of 3 boys, and by the time I came around, my parents just gave up, Okay, as for me, in about half an hour, I'm dropping a remastered version of my Bride and Frankenstein review in preparation for next week, in which I will be dropping a review of The Curse.
I think you're eating my pizza. Oh, no, you just moved the bowl. All right.
The Curse of Frankenstein, which is next week. The Hammer Frankenstein. I'm really excited about that one. I'm going to record the audio for that video like immediately after this. So look forward to that next week. And again, we will be doing this one more time next week because my list still has plenty of movies on a couple of big ones still. And Damien desperately wanted to do it again, so we got to do it one more time. And then I'll have something else planned for the rest of October. I'm not quite sure what it will be yet, but it will definitely be horror themed, obviously.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, it just dawned on me. The microphone wasn't on the headphone, so when I took the headphone away, that didn't mean that you.
Yeah, we still heard
forgive
you.
me forgive me for interjecting the
Totally fine.
the menu selections for this afternoon. Sorry.
So yeah,
Should've
I
liked
guess
pepperoni.
that's it for today. See you next week. Unless you got something you want to plug, Dan.
I think I'm not doing nothing until Thursday night. I think I'm on with Sarah Thursday, BBB Saturday night, and you again next Sunday. And that's the only things I've got live stream wise going on. Everything else is just regular videos.
Okay, cool. I will go ahead
See
and
you
hit
guys
the button.
tonight.
So, yeah.
Thank you and good night.